that confident person that can be like, hey, like, yeah, this is how I feel. Like, I'm gonna be confident about it. I'm gonna tell you what's up every time I think, right? Well,
I'm just a nigga with a dream. I'm motherfucking dream. I gotta feed the team. Gotta eat.
What would you say the biggest gripe about a man is? What would be your biggest gripe about a man?
Got some haters that I know. So I'll be keeping my success on the low.
For me, I guess sticks and stones may break your bones, but words hurt some people. You know,
words are powerful. They can. Words are very powerful. Words can kill.
Words are perceptional.
That is correct.
Just had to walk through them. Make a few bands when I talk to them. These niggas ain't real. They
I mean, that's just real talk. If you call a male a hoe, that's more clout for us. But call a female a hoe, that's different.
She's not wrong. Yeah.
They want to get not necessarily just attention, but they want to have the thing that makes them special. Everyone needs to be special. Like, everyone needs to be a leader. No one can be. Look, there's a leader and there's a follower. Okay, now everyone's trying to be this one great thing, but what about all the followers? Who's gonna fucking follow the leader if there's no followers, right? So you have all these good things that have happened. Well, now for bad things. Now, how are we supposed to live in a world where no one works anymore? Everyone wants just to get free money. Everyone thinks that they deserve something or they win something just because they're alive and breathing.
No, not so much that, but get rid of money, because money is the root of all evil. It is what's causing division. It's causing socialism and classism. It's causing death. Like, people, we can't afford food, like that. But we can't afford food now. Like, look at inflation. Like, COVID happened, and now look at inflation.
But it's not like we haven't repeated history, because like this is totally what's happened in the past already. The Great Depression happened. Well, you know what? We came through it. The 2000s, like, after 9/11, like, things happened. We got through it. It's just a cycle. It's just this continuous rotation of new things that are actually old things that are just.
Yo, y'all don't know who this is. It's your boy Q5, Big Somke. And look, coming to you live out of Colorado Springs, doing Colorado things, dig? And look, we about to talk big on TalkBigPodcast. Today, I got some strangers with me, you know what I'm talking about? Hey, yo, everybody, I'm gonna let them introduce themselves one by one.
Okay. My name is Elle. Nice to meet you. I'm Austin. And I am Dash.
Dash, I don't think they hear you. Your voice went weird.
And I am Dash. Ooh, my voice, there it is.
Yeah. Hey, look, y'all, we about to talk big. We ain't gonna give y'all a little prequel of what the girls do when the girls alone, you know what I'm talking about, what they conversate about. So, hey, today on Talk Big Podcast, I got a few controversial subjects. I've been asking in the past couple of weeks, and I've asked a host of people, and I've got different answers, so now I want to know what's y'all opinion in regards to this. If you had to tell the truth for the rest of your life, meaning that every single word that come out your mouth is going to be the absolute truth, so meaning no matter what somebody asks you, you're going to reply the absolute 100% truth to them in regards to what they say. Everybody speak up loud so the mic protection. But if you want to tell the absolute truth about in regards to what's happening, you have to tell it every truth. If somebody asks you any question, absolute truth. Or you have the option to lie. Not say you will lie for the rest of your life. You just got the option to lie. Basically like how life is now. You got the option to lie or to tell the truth. Or you have the option to be a 100% truth teller. Will mean everything you say will be truthful. Which choice would you choose?
You know what? I feel like the answer that we want to say is let's tell the truth, right? It'll be a relief because you never have the pressure of maybe needing to lie. But then all the bad things that kind of fall with that, you know, you can't really get through life without telling a couple white lies here and there, right? Just maybe not hurting someone's feeling or something like that. It just, you know, I don't know. I want to say that I want to say the truth all the time, but like realistically, no.
still lie.
Yeah. But I mean, being that confident person that can be like, hey, like, yeah, this is how I feel. Like, I'm gonna be confident about it. I'm gonna tell you what's up every time I think, right? But I mean, being that confident person that can be like, hey, like, yeah, this is how I feel. Like, I'm gonna be confident about it. I'm gonna tell you what's up every time I think, right? Well, that can also really badly for you. You can either be like, you can be an idol, or you can be someone that everyone hates.
Yeah.
Everyone hates you.
But isn't there like a thin line between them?
Yeah. What's your answer? That's her answer. What's your answer, Dash?
Oh man, that's what I see. Dang, I agree with Austin because, like, I am a truth seeker, right? And what that means is in life I want to seek things that are true. You know, I don't want to continue the lies that we were taught pre-programmed. But in reality, if you are put in a predicament where it's a life or death situation, and if you tell the truth, you are. Hey, let me just tell you, in the reality of life, I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna be the donkey in Shrek, where Donkey is right there in the middle with the dragon, and he had to lie and tell her breath smelled great. And even though he know it was kicking, he knew it was good.
You got you.
He knew it was
and
good.
don't we want that option anyways? Like we always say how we want to have free will, how we want to have like our own opinions about things. Well, then why would we get rid of that by telling the truth all the time? You know?
Exactly.
And you?
Yeah, I would still lie. Telling the truth can put you in situations, like, you can lose people. Like, I think people would respect you in some way, but even the prideful would hate you because you're going to bring down their pride in some kind of way because they know you're telling the truth. Like, that's going to lead you into some bad stuff.
Yeah, telling the truth can even lead to death, y'all. Jealousy, hatefulness.
Like, personally, I wouldn't want to give up that option if I could tell the truth or not. I'm going to keep that myself.
People are spiteful.
Hey,
yes, we live in a real world, man.
I'm trying to tell you, and look, yo, my perspective on the whole lie and tell the truth. Y'all already know me. Lie, nigga. Lie. I'm just saying. Boy, hey, I got to keep that option. Yeah, like all of y'all spoke, man. You can get in some real fucked up, precarious situations if you don't utilize that option to lie. I'm trying to tell you that because people gonna ask you some weird questions.
Yeah.
You might not want to tell them exactly what's on your mind. You might want to divert from the truth. You know what I'm saying?
It's like the movie Ella Enchanted, where she something she had to do everything that people wanted her to do. I'm like, fuck that.
You know what's really hard though? When you're a neurodivergent person, you like want to tell the truth about everything because you like literally overthink and overanalyze everything. So like when you like what she said, Ella Enchanted is a perfect analogy for this concept.
Yeah. And you know, y'all wouldn't believe on how many people I come across that say tell the truth.
Well, that's just people being like, no, let's be good people.
The good people, the good, the right
Let's do
thing.
this right.
So for me, this is like, hey, no offense to all the people who want to utilize the other answer, but I kind of classify the difference between divergence and sheeple. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
People who wants to be that programmable, like, scares me. You know
what I'm talking about?
The rule says this, now you follow it. Whoa.
Yeah. No personality.
That makes me think of the other movie, I, Robot, where Sunny like literally had personality and all the other robots literally did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah. Could not be me. Could not be me.
You're not conformed.
Yeah. Now check this out. I got another question. In a previous conversation that we were having earlier between amongst us before the show started. Now we were talking about this thing about women, bitches, and hoes. I'm just saying. Somebody feels sensitive about the subject, but me, I think it's a very relevant subject in today's society because it's just simple adjectives. Meaning that we all utilize those words every single day. And we only utilize those words when we're going to adjectively describe an individual or individual's act in which we speaking of. You see what I'm saying? So like, you don't, like, I give you an example. When somebody's bitching, you call them a bitch. When you know that girl, males don't classify too much, but when you know that girl, she's a ho-ho, What you call her? No, I'm saying, but listen.
They can be male.
But we don't really get stigmatized because of it. You know what I mean?
This is 2022.
I mean, that's just real talk.
Males can be hoes.
If you call a male a hoe, that's more clout for us. But call a female hoe, that's different.
She's not wrong. Yeah.
But that's society's issue.
Yes.
But you see what I'm saying though. Then, and like if you see like a girl, she's very promiscuous. So let's utilize those words. If a female is very promiscuous, we utilize the adjective of she's a hoe.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? That's what she is. But you don't call her a bitch because she ain't being bitchy. She just a hoe.
So how do we change that narrative, yo?
We can't. Because I mean, it's always been there. It's just been different slang throughout years, you know?
And some people used to call, Jezebel, all kind of different terminology.
But why
listen, but hold on. But listen, there's another classification. We got to go to every aspect. We call women bitches. We call women hoes. And then we call women women. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
When you see a woman that act like a woman, you never call a woman a hoe. Never call women hoes. Now these males don't generally call women hoes. Males don't call bitches hoes.
Well, there's some males out there be like, hey, I got all the hoes, you know? Like, I got all the bitches, I got all the hoes. But like, why are you messing with me, you know?
That's terminology then.
No.
Not
so now all their hoes.
Now you're being sexist.
But you know what? To them, they might be hoes. I mean, this is the
that's
viewpoint.
True, but
because guess what they have sometimes too? They have a woman. And they don't refer to her as a hoe. Because like I give you an example, a guy might got a woman, right, and the main wife, and he treat her like this, go home to her, lie to her, and do her good, right? As far as like how he take care of her. Then he got all these other girls that he fucking on the side.
Right.
And then he refers to them, the side hoes, but he don't refer to her as a hoe at all, not the woman at home.
Right, but who's the actual hoe here if he's the one having the hoes, right? He's got the multiple women.
Yeah, he a hoe too.
He's playing.
So then what? Okay, so then
my
question is.
You just say adjective.
I have a question. So you said there's a difference between a bitch, a hoe, and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And a gold digger.
Oh Lord Jesus. Okay. My Lanta sunflower soul. Okay. So here's my thing. I believe that there is nothing wrong with being classified as any of those.
Me either.
That's true.
I feel like, why can't I be a bitch to those who don't value me?
Why can't I be a hoe?
Why can't I be a hoe like men? Because we live in a society where it's 2022 and women should be able to date as men should be able to date.
Oh yeah, it ain't a sex thing.
Okay, go
Because remember there's bitch niggas and then there's hoe niggas. You dig? And when I say niggas, everybody know what I talk about when I utilize the word niggas. I mean all shades. You know what I'm saying? 50 shades of niggas. You dig? So you know men can be hoes and men can be bitches too. Men bitch. Yeah. Man bitch like a motherfucker.
Why does that have to be a bad thing?
That's true. Or like when they call someone a pussy. Why is that a negative thing?
Why?
When you call someone a pussy?
Being a pussy can save you from being in a bad situation.
They fucking birthed you. Why is it a negative
Exactly.
thing?
Pussy is a beautiful thing. What did Betty White say? It's one of the most powerful things that can take a punch. Something like that. She said so. And she said that we got balls too. They're just inside their ovaries.
And look, if I were to call you a pussy, you'd be offended. You'd be like, who the fuck are you calling a pussy right now? But we're like...
Me personally, if you were to call me a pussy, a woman, I'll say lick me.
Goddamn.
I'm still on that though.
That's good. Okay, but anyone else, like, they'd be like, no, like, this chick's calling me a fucking pussy. Hell no. Like, I'm the fucking alpha. I'm the man. Like, why is it less of, like, the alpha spot to be called the pussy, you know?
Well, for me, I guess sticks and stones may break your bones, but words hurt some people. You know
words are powerful.
They can be.
Words are very powerful. Words can kill.
Words are perceptional.
That's true.
That is correct. But words have power. Words are spells. Words have energy, frequency, vibrations that can cause, and they can literally pierce people.
Check us out. We're gonna do a word check, right? Words is perceptional.
Okay.
When the perception is out of control and you have no understanding of the perception and it's just spinning and trying to create its own nature of understanding, it goes chaotic. When you don't, your perception of what you perceive, all right? But then when you have understanding of the perception, watch this, I'm gonna utilize something real quick. Hey, I'm about to call you a bitch, okay?
Okay. All right.
You a bitch. You see? The perception, because the understanding of what we're doing with the word
Yeah.
has no meaning. We just created the meaning of what was about to happen of the word bitch. It's just a vibration.
Now, that's true, okay?
Words
so
are perceptional.
Words, I agree, words are perceptual, but it's also, it's how you say them. It's who's saying it to you, right? So
But
if you were to call me bitch, I'd be like, all right, fuck you, you know?
Yeah.
Like if some random person like, hey, you bitch, I'd be like, hey, no. Right? I wouldn't take that shit. But from you, I'd be like, all right, this guy, no.
Now that'll be reactional.
Right.
Somebody, hey, you bitch, and then you know what?
But they still said it to me, and that's why it's like, okay, that word, I don't want that word because they said it like that.
And then when you turn back, that's reactional. That's a defense mechanism for us. In our mental, we already put up a wall to say this is a bad thing. If it happens, stop it immediately. Right. So immediately, if somebody call you a bitch and you don't know them and you know they ain't no friendly gesture or whatever, our immediate reaction is to
why wouldn't it be?
Is to let. But listen, that's reactional. That means. See, I always tell Dash that a lot, that if you utilize reactional terms, I can control you. I can control you 100% because I can say, hey, watch me go make this girl mad. Watch me go do this. Watch me go do that.
You know,
Alfonso does that to
you know, I just listened to a podcast earlier this week, and it was this chick. She was talking about how, like, no matter if it's a negative response or a positive response, if you're still having that response, they're still having power over you. Like, exactly what you're saying. So, I mean, you're right. You're right. They still have that power. But, again, what caused it was the fucking word.
There is a book that's called The Four Agreements, and there's a paragraph, or there's like a few paragraphs that go into, if somebody were to come inside of this room right now and they start calling you all of these derogatory names, calling you fat, you're this, your teeth are buck, and your eyes are cross-eyed, you're too big for your face, you're not going to take offense to it because she's not saying anything that you agree with, essentially. Now, if she were to come in here and if she were to start picking out all your insecurities, they're your insecurities because you agree with them subconsciously. And that's why you react. The reason you react to words is because you, as a person, have something associated with it in your mind that is triggering you. That person just said something that triggered you. That is up to you. Again, like you said, that's up to you whether you're going to react to it, if you're going to avoid it. That's completely up to you, and if you overcome whatever things that are upsetting you. It's a really good book. It goes into what Dash was talking about, how words are spells, and if you choose to believe somebody's words, you're literally putting a spell over yourself by believing that and putting that narrative into your head. I'm stupid. I have
giving it that power.
And I can literally like say that what she's saying is true because I literally manipulated myself into obesity. And then, like, because I was out of fear, and I kept speaking that fear, and I kept thinking that fear, and I literally became that fear. Right. And I had to literally unlearn, that deprogram my mind and, reprogram my mindset to believe that I can lose that weight and live a healthier lifestyle, which I lost 150 pounds. So, like, literally, words are powerful, which is why I'm so careful now what I say. Very, very careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that one 100%. Well, me personally, just my own personal understanding in regards to, like, all right, if I just go on a deep level, not on just a shallow level in regards to words, it's all perspective. It's all mumble. Actually, it's all literally mumble jumble. We determine the meaning of everything. Like, if I give you an example, I'm gonna go in slow motion. Loose. Now I'm gonna speed this word up in its totality. Loose. Now, what did that word mean to you?
Like something that's not stable.
Okay, what did that word mean to you? Loose.
Loose.
Yeah.
Like flimsy.
What did the word loose mean to you?
Something that's not tightened.
Okay. in the English terminology, everybody perceived in the English terminology. So that's why all of y'all's statement was something not tightened, something not fastened down. Because remember, we create perception, but y'all just perceive only in English. When I utilize the word loose, I will use it in a terminology that I know would be dual. In Spanish, the word loose is light.
Oh,
So-
yeah, Spanish.
So
Yeah.
my point goes back to we
Perspective.
determine the meaning of the word.
I mean,
So
that's
we
how they are
prospectively we have the chance or the opportunity to be prospectively offended or prospectively tickled. Like I like to get tickled now these days. Like
Not a tickle.
Not the tickle.
yeah. Like people. I like me and my son be riding somebody have road rage, rah 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 rah, in the next car, rah 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 rah. You know what I'm talking about? So you know what I do? Before I used to raw back, but I've deprogrammed myself to reprogram my mind. So this is what I do. Told myself, if you ever get road rage, but with this what I do, I shut myself down first. If you ever get mad, immediately replace anger with quietness and observation. I've said that to myself so many times that I've programmed my mind to anything that makes me mad, anything that happens, and I get upset sometimes. You'll catch me in a small moment, but then my mind kicks in and told myself, because I done told myself, immediately replace anger with quietness and observation.
Very true.
So then when I do that, like the road rage thing, I see people get mad at me, then I'm like, shut down. Thing is, I choose the emotion that I want to activate from this point. So I activate laughter. I want to be humorized by it. You know what I mean? So I laugh at them. So I get pretty amused at their anger. You know what I'm saying?
It makes them even more mad, like
Right.
that you're not.
That you're not giving them the reaction that they want in the first place, you know?
So what you did is what alchemy is in itself. Being able to alchemize energy and being able to alchemize your emotions or how you feel is taking one thing in one state of matter and one state and being to transform it into something else. That's something that they teach in Hinduism and in meditation, is being able to have such self-awareness that nobody can control your emotions and that you have that moment of silence to be able to choose how you respond. Like that is a very,
Yes.
not a lot of
Powerful.
people have that.
Which
Yeah.
is why I
People just
respect
respond.
Sadhguru so much.
He's an amazing guest.
Yes.
Amazing teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like, you stub your toe. It hurts like a motherfucker, right? What do you do first? You say, ow, or you say, fuck, right? Like, it's just, that's
Reaction.
right. That's an option, though. You have the
Cause and
option
effect.
to be like, ow, that really hurt. Or you'd be like, wow, that hurt. That's okay. You know?
Now, see, if you ever observe me, everybody around me know to be like, this dude was crazy. It's not that I'm crazy with it, it's I reprogram my mind. That's what happens, because I'm on construction a lot.
Right.
So I reprogram my mind to say opposite things and do opposite things of my old programming. So like I hit my thing, I'm like, ooh, that one hurt good.
Yeah.
That's my
Yes.
response,
Yep.
because I don't perceive it as hurt bad no more.
Right.
I perceive it as a hurt good because it just gives me a time to observe pain.
Mm-hmm.
Like we usually don't want to observe pain for long periods of time.
But it's good when you do, because then you feel
You
how
feel
it
it.
makes you feel.
Wow.
You
Exactly.
get that, and I've done that before.
Wow.
You know, you just take a second, you just kind of realize what does that feel like? You know, like let me observe what I'm feeling right now,
Exactly.
and then you can go from there. And you're like, all right, that's how that is. Let's not try to do that again. You know,
No.
I wouldn't like to stub my toe again.
And
but-
that right there going to take me into a segue into the unknown, basically off of what you just said, basically what you feel. We here in this realm, we often experience things that people are like, damn, did I just see that? Or we experience something like, damn, did I just hear that? We have a heightened perception sometimes, and like you get to hear the loud, but for some reason only you can hear that loud pitch, and the person right next to you can't even hear it at the same time for some strange reason, and we get it individually. All that is your frequency is being tuned higher.
Right.
And when your frequency is being tuned higher, you see how you can hear that refrigerator? Sound emanates. Energy emanates sound. Light emanates sound. So when you hear that, and you can pinpoint it in the room in some place, not everywhere, but in some place in the room, that's a life force right there. And because you're tuned in just for a slight moment, you can hear it, and you can, anything that your frequency is tuned into, you're entitled to see or hear. That's why some people be like, oh, I see the dark people, the shadow people. Some people are like, oh, I see the light people. If they're dialed down, you're doing to a lower frequency, you can see the shadow people. If you dial up, you're into a higher frequency. You can see people of a higher resonating being on the same playing field. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
So why is it that kids can seem like
Some more innocent.
yeah?
They're not distracted by what we are distracted. Growing up into how things have just been. They're more pure in that sense, and they're not as filtered.
They're not programmed yet.
Right, they're not programmed.
Information, the more information you start putting in the person's head from the guardian,
Right.
it's usually the guardian of us that programs us.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mama was not, and for me, I love my mama in regards to how she raised me, how she took care of me, and everything, how she provided for me. But in regards to a universal guardian, she was not a universal guardian.
Right.
My family was programmed Christian, so I was therefore programmed Christian. So then after I came out and explored the world for myself, I was like, this is a universal thing. This ain't no exclusive thing. You know what I mean? So I choose to say, I don't want to deal with religion no more.
Yep.
I want to go with
You have that choice
universal.
as an individual.
Yes.
You may have started in a certain background, but you grow up, you kind of uncontrol yourself from that narrative, and you develop into your own person. I mean, that's just what growing up is. That's what maturing is finding your own self within what you were taught, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sad when you see like the older generation that it didn't click. They literally were just stuck in the ways of their ancestors or their elders. But that's why they don't really like our generation, because our generation literally was like, nah, screw all that bullshit. We're going to do what we want to do with our lives.
Right.
We don't want to work 9-to-5s for corporates, or we don't want to do certain this or certain that. We want to be able to choose our own careers, our own paths.
what it is.
And be jacks of all trades, if that's another thing we want to do, because we are multi-talented beings. We should not be collectively focused on one thing, because we're just too intelligent.
Yeah, what it is the parents try to live their aspirations and dreams through their kids.
Right. And then we just settle. That's how they want us to be. They want us to settle into what they want, so then they get fulfillment out of something they couldn't actually do, right?
Themselves.
But now we're over here, like people in this generation, we're like, hey, actually, like what you were saying, like screw that, screw you. I'm my own person. I'm who I want to be.
Yep.
You can't tell me what I can and can't be, because I'm going to figure that out. You got to give me space. Got to give me the time. I'm an adult now. I'm no longer a kid you can push around. Let me find out for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it can get deep and it can get real. And I'm going to go there. Like for me, like if they don't accept us for who we are, then we are going to create the families that are going to accept us. And I'm realizing strangers love me more and have been here for me more, that have become family and friends, than my own family and friends that I consider family friends. To the point where I'm creating my own life now, and I'm enjoying the life that I'm creating with my new found family and friends and my children.
You're creating your own narrative.
I feel you there 100%. Hence the title of the podcast, Talk Big Podcast, A Conversation with a Stranger. I utilize that technique because I always tell people, if you want to find somebody that you want to confide in, go talk to a stranger. Don't talk to nobody that you know.
That's
because
true.
with that stranger, you're going to get an intimate, one-on-one, non-judgmental, one-on-one conversation with that person if you just met the person.
Right.
If you meet that person on the second time and try to carry the same conversation, the conversation might become judgmental because they have information about you already. So they're going to make prejudgments of who you are based off of what they know. So if you have a conversation with a total stranger, there's no judgment in the conversation, period. Because they're just only collecting.
They usually have empathy. They usually have compassion. And
exactly. Everybody's mind is open in the conversation predominantly because everybody's gathering information about the individual as they speak. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
You're more attentive.
Now, to be controversial.
and like she said, more empathy.
But is that necessarily a good thing, or is that a bad thing?
That's a great thing.
Is it?
Yeah, you know why? Because if you have no outlet, you have no auxiliary to say, hey, I need to get this piece of information out of me. But I don't want to tell you this person, all they're going to do is throw it back in my face. I don't want to tell this person, all they're going to do is argue with me. I don't want to tell this person, you could go and talk to a total stranger. But I always say travel just shortly away from where you live and then talk to a stranger. That way you don't bump into the person abruptly. You know,
I
if that
can
make
see
any
that.
sense.
I can totally see that, but then you also have to think, okay, so now let me confide into a stranger, right? And like you said, they have empathy, okay? Now, what if I just royally screwed up, okay? And this is where a person has to kind of, like, they hit rock bottom, they gotta either grow or they're gonna stay where they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I go to a stranger and they empathize me, and they're saying, no, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be fine. Well, where's the growth in that? How do I understand what I'm actually doing wrong if some complete stranger is telling me I'm doing okay?
What if they actually give you good advice? I've
No,
gotten
that's
some
true.
great advice from strangers.
Yeah.
And mind you, most of the great advice I've received have been people from society that society doesn't really deem people. Homeless people.
Yeah.
People
big
that
time.
are on drugs, like, believe it or not, they're more self-aware than we think. And that we as a society give them credit.
I mean, they're still people. They
Yeah,
still
they're
had
people.
a life before they, ended up on a street somewhere. Like, there was still a time and a place where they were giving to society. I mean, they still
were
are.
baby.
Everyone still
They were
is
loved.
in their own way. Yeah, I mean, of course they're going to have advice. They're going to have experience. They have more
Yeah.
experience than just the average Joe you're going to find at a suburb place working a 9 to 5, right? Because these people have experienced life.
Yes.
They've been through the hardships. They've been through the good things, the bad things, the in-between
They know how to
things.
survive. They're the people that are going to be here.
They're
still.
going to be the ones
Think
that
about
are teaching
it.
us.
You know how we're always constantly washing our hands and this and that, and staying clean. To keep from getting sick and dying. People that live in the outside world live in environments that are constantly deemed not livable, but yet they are the ones that survive more than us that live in buildings.
Right, because they're not conformed to what we're supposed to be programmed to.
Yeah, our body, we're naturally supposed to be immune to the outside.
I'll say it like this: choice. You got the option to live in the old ways of the program, or you got the option to utilize the newer ways of the program. If you want heat, air conditioning, toilet tissue, that's cool. If you want bush, sleeping bags, the hardship of life, that's also an option. So you have people that are out there and they stay out there, and they don't make no effort to change the circumstances. They make their comfort out there in the streets. Then you got some people that go are circumstantial. They hit the streets and then they make the option to come out of the streets and change their circumstances. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you
So-
have an option for everything. You
100.
can either take it by the horns and say, all right, this is it. Let's deal with it, or you can push to the side. I'm gonna settle right now. I'm gonna let someone else pick up my slack.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
There's always an option. So.
Now, let me ask y'all women this. Since women are ready available, what would you say the biggest gripe about a man is? What would be your biggest gripe about a man?
I don't even know what that word means.
My complaint, biggest complaint about men.
I love your honesty, bro.
My biggest complaint.
Ooh, El, go.
I be working with some men. So
Yeah, no, you said
Yes, come on, El. You got some
I'm
good
gonna
stuff.
sit front and center.
Yes.
So I work at Goodwill, and they have a rehire program, meaning that they hire people that recently got out of prison or jail and they're trying to reconform their life, which is amazing. Good for you for getting hired and trying to change your life. But that means I work with some of the most interesting criminals. I work with a pedophile. I work with people who have domestic abuse charges. I have people who are like drug dealers, fucking Crips, blood, all of that. And my biggest complaint, honestly, it definitely is a man's pride when he gets to a certain point in his life. And they grab it from the most weirdest things. I have a man who is so proud of himself that he's killed people in the past and that he only served 8 years for it. And he wears that as a stripe on his sleeve. He talks about it all the time. He will go into graphic detail of the things that he's done to people. That is something he is proud of, genuinely. I have another man who talks about all of the types of women that he's been in relationships with and how he's mistreated them and, oh, I had a bitch on this bitch and I fucked this bitch. And that's what he's proud of. Like, straight up, I'm like, pop off, okay, you 64-year-old man, all right. Like, it's a man's but like a man's pride. And like they take that shit and they wear it as an armor. And I have purposefully put them in conversations where like I would ask them harsh questions or like put them on the spot. And like Bitch, I don't know. Like,
put them in their place.
I do, but the thing is when you mess with the man's pride, and especially when you're messing with the man's pride who is of that kind of, like, I'm gonna say class and background, bruh, you're putting yourself in a dangerous situation. I can't tell you how many times I had a grown-ass man walk up in my face, and I'm like, what are you gonna do, Chuck? Nothing. Like, calm down. Like, some men, they really do not care, and it's scary because it's like you're that sensitive that you're willing to hurt somebody because they poked at you. Like, but then you want to walk around like you're the pit bull big dog, I'm going to shoot you in the face. But again, you're one of the most sensitive people in this whole room. And it's like this flip-flop backwards way that they have when it comes to their perception of themselves that pisses me off. Yeah,
Okay.
they really can't, bro.
I'm going to elaborate on her first before y'all answer the same question. I 100% totally fucking agree in regards
Not just
to-
agree, a fucking agree.
in regards to what you just said as a man pride, because I often speak to just about anybody who decided they're going to separate from a man. When you are going to separate from any man, I always give people this one advice: that man pride. And what you just iterated right there is a deeper pinpoint in regards to what I always say. So I'm going to utilize that to focus what the pride is. Because you just showed different prides in regards to the different individual. They got different prides of what they pride themselves about, what they pride themselves in. And when you severed that man and you hurt that man's pride, that is the most dangerous thing, period, in a man. It's not his love, not his protection for his kids, not his money, because his protection for his kids is a part of his pride. You see what I'm saying? So when you hurt a man's pride, that's the most dangerous fucking thing you can ever do to a man. So you got to know the individual and their pride, and what their pride is, what they pride themselves on, because that pride, it's a dangerous thing, but it can also lift that individual up too.
That's what's holding them
in
back.
regards to but it depends on what that pride is. If it's a negative pride, like you say, that one person, oh yeah, he ain't going nowhere fast.
Nowhere.
You know what I'm talking about? Real fast. You know what I'm talking about? So then if it's a positive pride and that person esteemed himself on doing positive things and good things and making shit shake and making things happen for other people or in life and society, then that's something you can esteem somebody on, and then that pushes the issue forward. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I like your answer on the exact same question.
Okay. So.
Sit a little forward.
All right,
sit a little forward so the camera catch you right there.
Okay. Well, I want to bring up relationships with men. So my biggest gripe, complaint, bitch for men is how whenever you get into like a new relationship, right? And what is the first thing a guy says when they may say something that kind of is like, or they're a little over, whatever, and they annoy you or something? It's like, oh, well, sorry, the girl before you, she cheated on me, right? The girl before you, she did this, she did that, she did this, right? And women do this too, but I've seen more of a trend in men who do it, and how there's always an excuse for why they're acting a certain way. It's like, oh, sorry, well, she did me dirty. Sorry, well, she said this earlier. Okay, well, I'm not fucking her. Like, I never gave anyone an excuse to treat me like this, because I never gave them that, you know, whatever. So why are you treating me how you would treat her, right? So fuck that.
That's your biggest gripe?
That is just how men handle relationship talks like that, you know?
All right, I'm going to elaborate on that from my perspective.
All right.
Depending on the individual, I totally 100% fucking agree. Because, and I'll tell you what's happening. If he's a hardened in his heart, his wall is up and it don't bother him. If he's a soft, tender-hearted person who's open-hearted, this is what happened. Our mind has the propensity to do two things: to record and create. That's all we do is record and literally create. So either we're looking backwards in record mode, in memory mode, or we're looking forward in the future by creating the new possibilities of the future. So this is what happened. A moment ends. A chaotic moment ends. oh, she cheated on him, right? So that's a hurtful thing to a man's heart and to his pride. So obviously their relationship probably ended up chaotic. So then he goes, right, and what most people do is they don't get time to know themselves and understand themselves, like what just happened here? What's happening within me right now? Why do I feel this way?
Right.
Not what happened in our relation. They go external. Oh, you cheated, you did this, you did this. They don't go external and say, hey, what's happening with my emotions?
They don't.
So this is what happened. He enters into a new relationship. Now he's into a new relationship, but his mind is still on loop cycle.
Mm-hmm.
On remembering mode. He's looking back at the past and he's going on memory mode. So what you remember, you visualize in your mind, you're playing back the past. Now you're in this new relationship. So from the abundance of the heart, his mouth will speak. It's not that he has a flaw, a deficiency of who he is or what's happening in a relationship. All it is his mind is simply looking back. So from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. What he's seeing in his head, he's speaking from his mouth. So he's speaking of that past. So all you can know is just to simply, oh, his mind is on loop. He's in the past right now. Because if he was in the future, if an individual's mind is in the future, they don't speak of all these past things that happened to you. You speak of, hey, you know what? What am I creating now? What am I doing now? What am I doing now? Because you overwrite your story. That's like for me. Like I give you an example. I got crazy past, but I don't speak much of my past because I'm overwriting my own story.
Exactly. If you live in the past, you're gonna be miserable because then you're always gonna set yourself up for what already happened. Oof. You know, repeat that history
exactly.
because you're talking it into existence. You know, like it's just that's how it works. So if you're going into a relationship and you're worried about what's happened before, well, why don't you start out with fresh eyes? Why don't you start out being new, being open to things, you know?
Because most people just simply don't take the time to pause.
You need to
and get to know themselves. See, what it is the vulnerability of emotional discomfort within themselves. Most people seek comfort by emotional comfort by distractions.
Right.
Not actual tackling the emotion that's going on inside.
And it's not fair to that person you're using as the distraction. You know?
But most people don't know that they're doing it though. See, like a person may be hurt, a girl might be hurt, or whatever. So a girl may immediately go engage with another person.
Mm-hmm.
May go engage with another person to distract themselves from the emotional pain that they feel. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
I think in terms of men, it kind of gets more deeper than that, since men aren't allowed to express
that is
emotion.
Yeah, because they don't know how. They never got fucking taught how.
Yeah. So when they have to self-reflect and reanalyze and become, fix themselves, how do I heal myself? Like you said, they've never been taught that.
Yeah.
Women were shamed for being so in tune with their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're used to dealing with that shit. So that's something that we do on a daily. So being able to go over our emotions and then going from one relationship to a next. That's why we're ready for it. Mm-hmm. But the guy, he's like he said, he's still within that cycle mode because he's still living in the past.
Now, how do we talk him out of that? You know?
Us as a society need to help men be in tune and let them be people.
Yes.
We take men's humanity away from them by only letting them express anger and
masculinity
and sexuality.
Yes.
We do not let them express their feelings and being sad and crying.
Yes.
Let them talk, dude.
Exactly. Men's voice matters, but
do.
not in the superior,
not in the way that it
not
is
in
now.
a superiority way that society has pre-programmed us systemically to think.
I think
No,
because
exactly
we
what
shut
you
them
said.
up,
Yes.
they forced their voice, but we don't need that kind of power. We want to help you guys. There's a lot of people that actually want men to speak out about the fact that they've been raped.
Yes.
One of my coworkers I worked with, he was telling me about the first time that he had sex. He was 12 years old. He had sex with an 18-year-old woman.
Yep.
I had to look him in the eyes, and I was like, "Did you know that is considered statutory rape?"
And are you
I had
okay?
to talk through this 46-year-old man with him. That was the first time he ever heard that shit. Okay?
Like, that's not acceptable.
That's not. There's so many men that are like that. A lot of these men who have first sexual experiences, it's some form of rape.
Well,
Straight up.
because they're congratulated. Like, oh, you lost your virginity? Good job.
Especially to an older woman.
Oh my god, you're a fucking
Especially to an
god.
older
You know?
woman.
Like, fuck that shit. Yeah, like, you just got fucking raped. Like, are you fine? Are you mentally okay?
Like, are you okay?
Like, that's stupid.
No one
as fuck.
asks men, are they okay?
No,
are you okay,
they're
men?
supposed to be tough. They're
Are you
supposed
okay?
to be
We
the
need to
alphas, you know? But let's take a second, let's slow it down, let's take it all back, let's go back to the same level, like, okay, Now let's start again. You know?
Yeah.
Rewind.
Hey, look. Hey, yo, y'all got me there gonna tickle funny over this motherfucker. Y'all got me laughing and giggling over this bitch. Cause that's some funny shit.
It's real.
You know why I'm laughing? Because my first experience was, I ain't gonna say no names, was somebody that's older than me. So I guess I could be considered in that same classification because I was 12 when I felt that tingly feeling for the first time. Yeah, oh yeah.
But nowadays,
I'm just saying, for
younger.
me, I was 12, the person was older too. And I ain't gonna say age and I ain't gonna say no, but I'm just saying that I was consensual. I don't care what nobody said. I know what I was doing. I knew right from wrong. Stick hand in the fire, hot. Touch something that hurts. I know right from wrong at this age.
It doesn't matter, but you're still a child.
Hold on, listen. We ain't gonna go to that subject right now. Listen. We ain't gonna go to that subject because I did it consensually and I enjoyed it. I'm just telling y'all why I laugh so hard, because I relate to exactly what she said. But I want to give you, Dash, an opportunity to say what's your biggest gripe about a man in regards to men. I want to say a man, men, period. Your biggest gripe.
Entitlement.
No, you gotta speak up.
Entitlement. They come into this world programmed to feel superior to women in almost everything except for being able to give birth. That's like the one thing they can't do,
Well, nowadays.
I mean, again, it's 2022. They're working it. But I would have to say when, men just, in my experience, in my personal experience, I don't like when a man is trying to get to know me. Like, he will try to manipulate what I'm saying by saying that he's interested in the same things that I'm interested in, just because he has a narrative and he has a motive. That's the word I'm looking for. And so, I'm very self-aware of that now, and I see it all the time, whether it's a friendship or to get something, to buy something, to look at something, whatever it is. Men like to manipulate women because we are emotional beings, naturally. But so are men, but in more of a nurturing sense. Especially women that have been traumatized in any sense, whether it's childhood trauma, abuse, whatever it is. You tend to develop traits that cause you to be easy and be a people pleaser and kiss ass or whatever analogy you want to use. So I don't like the pressure of men having to put that on women or society even.
Yeah. That's low-key kind of accepted within the society of men. Like guy code. Jesus Christ, if you actually talk to a man and you listen to a man and their guy code, that shit is on another level. I used to hang out with these guys, and they thought I was one of those cool girls, right? But they didn't know that I was hanging out with them because they were putting me on shit. So I was doing homeboys while I was sticking up fucking comic books, and I was listening to him. And this man was talking to me, and he was telling me how he had this girl that he was talking to, and he told her that he broke his phone, and she bought him another one, and he has 3 phones. One of them was his drug phone, and his other 2 was the ones that he had his bitches on. This man, when I tell you he had women coming in and out of his apartment complex, when I say this man was doing all kinds of shit, and then he would bring his lady over later on that night, and then be sitting on the couch like nothing ever happened, like straight up using. And then the guys that he was bringing in were on that same shit, and they'd be yip-yapping it up and talking and smacking. Like, oh my God, it was like a whole nother world. And then working out where I work and seeing that same mentality, but in men, in 46-year-old men, and they're having conversations like that. It's sad to see that is what guy code is. And when guys are, yip-yapping and they're having their secrets and they're talking about this bitch and that bitch, they're low-key all on the same page. Men are all on the same page. They know exactly that this boy's manipulating this girl, and he knows that he doesn't actually like this woman and he likes this one. They're all on the same page. It is.
They're trying to play us.
Scam. And us women.
We're over here just trying to love. We're trying to make a life. We're trying to make a family. We're trying to just be here. And guys are like, pussy. That's all they want.
But again, I feel like men would be different if we actually just
allowed them to.
From a very young age.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, one thing first off, just because you're a man, that does not make me different from you. We are human.
Yes.
That is what we need to establish first off.
Yes.
We are human beings. You feel pain, I feel pain. You feel love, I feel love. Your love is not more than my love. It's not more important than my love just because you were a man. Your importance is not more than my importance simply because you were a man. We need to take that away, and then once we do, I feel like shit's going to naturally just fall into place. People are going to realize
evolution
that
is a thing. Change is inevitable.
It's
we
gonna
can teach.
happen.
It is.
Now, Dash, you said your biggest gripe about a man is entitlement. Now, let me make my statement on regards to like what's happening there. And you said a few other things in regards to what entitlement meant to you.
There aren't many women in power.
Let me share this with you. It all just, everything that happens within you happens within you. So the only entitlement is self-entitlement in life. So if a man feels entitled to be, oh, I want to be the alpha of the house, then as a female, you're entitled to let him be an alpha. And if a female decides that, you know what, I don't just want to be beta, I want to be alpha too, then she's entitled to be alpha also in the household. And now all that creates is two leaders in the household. So if the man's going to be alpha, he's supposed to have a plan for the household, to lead his household and say, how are we going to lead this house in success? How are we going to lead this house financially? How are we going to make sure all the bills played? If he's going to play alpha role, he has to have a plan for all that. And the lady is a part of the plan. She knows all the plan, and then everybody work together and she follows suit because he's leading the plan. Sometimes you got in most societies, in black societies, that the women are the alpha in the whole household, even if a fucking man is present, because there'd be a lot of single mothers for a lot of periods of times. So these single mothers create strong motherfucking women who know how to take care of a lot of different responsibilities by themselves, absent of a man. So sometimes that lady get with the man, and now they together, and female too, because sometimes women own women, so it depends. But it's that, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. But sometimes that lady gets with another man, and she's on alpha mode now. She's so used to take care of shit, raising her kids, making shit shake for herself. She's on alpha mode. So when they get inside a relationship, that's why you hear a lot of men say a submissive gesture. Oh, my wife run the house. Oh, this her house. Just the queen of the house. That's the absolute truth, because he's the beta in the relationship. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
The woman can wear the pants.
Yeah, and then she's the alpha. So alpha and female. So I'm going back to what you were saying. Entitlement does not have nothing to do with, oh, man feels entitled. As a man, they program us societally says, we got to do this. We got to buy the dinner. We got to, when we go out the date, we got to do this. They put all of this fucking pressure on a male. Like, we got like 1 billion pressures. And women, y'all pressures are completely different. So the entitlement that a person would feel individually in regards to another individual is, I always say this one thing. When we speak out of our mouth, this is what I always do. I pay attention to me more than I pay attention to you. You see what I'm saying? So when I speak out of my mouth, I hear what I say. I go back when I'm by myself and I play back every word I say to a person. Because I know everything that comes out of my mouth is a projection. I say, all right, what did I just say to that person? That's really...
Like, how did it affect them?
No, not how it affect them. I don't care how it affect them. What I just said about somebody else might be, I say, remember, everything comes from within out. So everything is a projection when it comes out, because it's coming from in. So when I project something about somebody else or to somebody else or whatever, when I'm alone, every word I said to say, hey, maybe you should do this, or maybe this, or that, or your feelings is this, I take it back and I turn it on me. I say, okay, if it's projection that came out of me, is this applicable to me, or was I projecting? You see what I'm saying? So I say, because if I'm projecting it onto somebody else, it might be about me. That's what people do. Oh, you're this, you're hurting this and all. Oh, you're the one in this, and in relationships. Oh, and they be projecting their shit onto you, and they don't even be you. It be their shit that they saying you're doing. It's a projection. So when I speak to people in regards to every time I talk, when I'm alone, I go self-reflect and I say, okay, I just told this person, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do that. Then I turn back to myself, hey, should I do this?
Yeah,
like, and
that's an issue with today. Is a lot of hypocrites.
Yeah, so I see what's applicable to me and what's not applicable to me, so it allowed me to self-approve faster because, like I said, I know when I conversate, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, so it's coming out of me. And if I'm saying something to somebody else, even advice-wise, is this advice applicable to me?
Yeah.
Am I projecting right now, or am I really speaking outwardly? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so I look back and check myself and see, damn, I say, oh, you this. Is that really about that person? Because I give you an example. I learned this word a while back, long time ago, but I always hear the word narcissist, right? So I had to study on the narcissism thing. I read a whole couple of books on it, and know there's different levels and there's why people, so everybody have traits of narcissism at times, of points and periods of times in their life, and there's just levels to it. Small, medium, and just like there's levels to anger. You can be angry and not react at all. Some people be angry and not showing expression, or some people be angry and go hurt and harm things. Levels to anger, levels to everything, but you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I learned, like, when people utilize certain words, especially when people attack another person's character, I automatically, immediately, like that's how I discern girlfriends. I listen to how a woman talk about the last person they was with.
Mm-hmm.
I meet women that have said nothing bad about the guy they was with, and it was horrible breakups. Later on in intimacy, they'll tell you, oh, this happened, that happened. But in the engagement, they don't speak bad about the guy at all. I'm like, whoa, he did all that to you? And you speak of him in that mannerism? Boy, that's some character like a motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's her character. She ain't dragged the baggage. She moved the fuck on, and she ain't looping the past. That means she moving forward. Yeah, you drop the past and move forward. So like I said, in regards to like going back to what you were saying, entitlement. Each individual, a male or female, but I actually would gripe about a male feels those certain entitlements because programming. Society done put so much male programming on us. We have to do this. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. We gotta do that. And then so the males live by the program. And then males, like y'all all was saying earlier, males have no outlet to speak. You go talk to a male about your issues. Oh, you a pussy. Oh, blah, blah, yeah. You can't just go open up to a male about your emotional issues. You know,
or hug another male.
Yeah. Fuck that shit.
See, yeah. But why?
But I'm saying society. I mean, I hug males.
But look at you
do the bro hug. You do like, hey, like come here, but no, but get in there.
Yeah, like what? Like, okay, you see how us females be hugging each other, not like on no weird shit, but on like, I love you. I hope you know. Look. I'm starting to see men do it, but look at your reaction, like
yeah. Listen. Oh, me personally, only reason why I feel that way because this is the new world. This is the open world. The world has changed, and a lot of people have preference of sexuality, and I'm not confident in everybody's truth of what their sexuality is.
But that's the same thing with women too.
Just allow me to express. I'm not comfortable in everybody's sexuality in regards to how they express. Now, see, women camaraderie is different from male camaraderie. Because remember, y'all are very expressive by nature. Y'all had this ability in to do this for generations. Us, we still have to hide this shit. Male hugging another, oh, you can't your favorite, all that extra shit in your ears that you don't want to hear and you ain't got time for.
Well, why
listen, ain't no but. I'm just saying, and it's not about why do you care? It's just the simple fact that we're programmed too. It's not a but and a why.
That's why we're trying to change that narrative. Is what we're saying.
That's an individual thing.
you know, he's got a point. You know, it's a preference. You know, if he's not sure about what someone else identifies as sexually, whatever, and you don't necessarily feel comfortable, it's like, okay, well, now what if a 40-year-old man comes up to you and is like, I'm gay, but he's not gay, but you know, like, I don't know, like, I wouldn't feel comfortable like hugging an old man or something that's like just a pal, a friend, or whatever. Like, you know, those random people that come up to Jives and like wants a hug. Well, no, I don't want to give you a hug just because. Whatever, like, I don't really care. I just, you know, I don't feel comfortable. Like, that's a preference. Like, you don't feel comfortable.
My personal space. I got personal, and I'm an
Exactly.
energy person. You touch me, I can feel your energy. I can see everything. Everything.
You know, like, it's
And
not that
that's
it just
the part
doesn't
I don't
matter or it doesn't whatever. It's just a preference. Some guys don't like to be touched.
Like, it can be a preference, like you said, to not want to be touched, but your response did give out a lot. You shouldn't have to have that kind of response when thinking about hugging men. You should be able to have your preference of not wanting to hug people without being ultimately
like,
disgusted by the thought.
Yeah,
of
like,
it.
no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
that's
Like,
true.
I'm cool with that, not hugging you guys, but you're like, I'm not.
Like,
No. Anybody touching me? Listen, I'm that way about
That's
hugging
the
women. That's not about hugging men, women. It's not a sexual thing as far as a male female thing. It's a energy thing. You know, like people, I greet people and I fist bump most people. I'm not shaking your hand. My hand emits energy. See, Dash, you know exactly what I'm speaking about because you and I done went through this.
Well, yeah, I do, but
But I'm just saying,
everyone
but
else
if
does it,
they,
you know?
they didn't know exactly what I'm talking about because everybody's in tune and they got this word in Hebrew. People take it from another tense and speak about the Japanese term, but a lot of people don't know Japanese and Hebrew is the exact same thing, just written in two different forms. But a word called Reiki. Reiki is just the healing of the hands. So when you laying on the hands, you heal people with the hands because your body you can submit so much electricity from yourself. You can pass that electricity on to somebody else. And when I say that, I say that I know the type of energy that I emit. I predominantly got good energy. I got a shield around myself in regards to like my energy and protecting my energy and just not like fucking everybody, just fucking. You know what I'm talking about? 'Cause that's energy. I'm not giving that shit to any old body. You know what I'm talking about? Guess I'm in this pimp juice. You mine. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't just give out the energy. So like when you hug people, I feel energy.
Right.
Some people dark.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn how
Sure.
pretty a fucking smile is. Good words. Hey, I got this esteemed job. Some of the most, if you ever, look, I got kids, so everywhere I ever moved, I always look up the area, see the pedophiles in the area. Everywhere I live, everywhere I go, I look and see who's around me. I look and see the pedophiles in the area. You know where most of them motherfuckers at? Up in Monument Hill, the rich, good, nice, ditty ass fucking neighborhood. Yeah,
Hurts.
far up north. And yeah, when I look at the thing, Monument got
Sorry.
more pedophiles than Colorado Springs, Fountain, and all of the surrounding areas put together in that one little smaller town. Then all of them put together. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So like the things that people into, the energy, and all these people are highly esteemed people because their jobs to live in Monument Hill, you gotta have bread to live up in Monument. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that means their jobs are highly lucrative jobs. These people that would be esteemed as, oh, just a good guy, is smart.
CEOs.
Yeah, those type of shit. But these motherfuckers
Software
that be doing the
engineers.
weird
Yeah.
shit. You see what I'm saying? Look at the whole industry of entertainment industry. The
Right.
higher you go,
Mhm.
the weirder shit get. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're
When
talking
you
about.
go up into the high range of things and you got more access, 'cause that's all money grants you is access. Shit start getting weird as
You
hell.
talking, John.
So that's why
Epstein
I don't
type
just
shit.
don't let nobody can't say I ain't no hugger or toucher like that. I'm a more watcher.
That's
A more
fair.
That is
That's
fair.
definitely accurate. You know, you gotta be careful of what you're putting out there and what you're receiving. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
but that's also like reckon if you're not fucking numb. You know, like a lot of people are they're not in tune. Like they don't understand this kind of stuff, right? So they're more like shut down in a way where they think that it's just a handshake.
Baby ducks.
It's just a handshake. It's just a hug. It's just this.
They
whatever.
get very offended.
But then they're like, but then that changes them, you know, like, because they don't understand what's actually happening here. Like when they're hanging around someone, you know, people are like, okay, you are who you hang out with. That's so true, Because you're taking what they're giving you.
Hey, vibrational frequencies is so fucking powerful in regards to alpha and beta. You will have a whole bunch of females come again around each other, but there's only one alpha female in all of the situations. And in that whole situation of all of the alpha females, guess what happened when they around each other for long periods of time? Everybody period sync.
Oh, BMT.
That's a real thing.
Everybody period syncs to the alpha though. It ain't syncing to everybody. It's just
my roommate synced to mine.
Yeah,
It's a real thing.
So,
I got a visual of like metal smells and fish. Ugh.
And the vibrational frequency, the one that got the dominant frequency is going to be able to almost like, I don't say control, but change the frequency of the other with the lower frequency.
I mean, it's very accurate. It's a real thing, you know. Like it's all real things.
Yeah,
that's why.
That's why you gotta be careful of like who you just touch and who you hug and all that stuff. Energy
or
is
who
fucking
you have
real.
sex with, because sex literally stands for sacred energy exchange, which was told to us by a good friend of ours, Josiah. And ever since he told us that, that literally stuck with me, because it's like, dang, people don't realize just how powerful they are. And when they give that to somebody, they're giving their power literally over to somebody.
It's your little
mobility.
Yes.
Like your little essence when you're coming.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of.
And that's. Hey, listen.
Honey, I'm coming.
Check this out though. Let me show you the intenseness of what she just said though. It's your literal essence when you're coming. Let me show you the explosion of life force. And within a male sperm is so tiny and so small and so minute. They say millions can fit on a tip of a needle.
Yeah, that is
so that means
crazy.
you need a microscope to see this one that gives life. That spark is so tiny and so minute from within a male that when it reaches that spark from a woman, which is that egg, because see what happens during that time during the sexual point. A lot of people don't know this. If a woman don't climax, that egg ain't gonna be fertile. That egg can be right there, but the only way to get this baby to come, you have to get her to climax, because what happens when you climax, that spark, shoom, it's an electromagnetic charge.
Is that real?
Interesting.
She electromagnetic charges those eggs within her,
So
just like us. When we like if when a male have that same sensation when a male comes, that electromagnetic charge is shoom through his body, and it charges the cells inside the sperm cells, which gives life. That power, that spark is so powerful. Is you can't just give it to anybody. And you know, some people foolishly do.
They do.
Think about it. Yeah,
they abuse it. They abuse that like sanctuary.
When you think about it, when you do that to somebody, especially someone that doesn't consent, they look dead. They look dead.
Hold on. That you say somebody that don't consent. What you mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
When you yeah, or like abused, when you're being abused, molested, essayed, all those things that are negative.
Hey yo, we're gonna get off this subject right here, because I know that's one of YouTube's big things. So sometimes you say one wrong word, you'll cut the whole show. So
my bad.
I don't like dark passes too much anyway. I like to spread light if possible.
100. But I was just talking about that is a big effort.
Overall, just general saying, like, you gotta be careful who you're sharing that energy with, you know, because it takes a toll on someone, you know, like,
you can see it in their face.
And it could be sexual or it could be mental, you know, like, the things that you say, too, like, you're still having that toll on someone. Again, just a hug, just a handshake, you're still affecting that person, you know?
I agree.
Yeah.
That's literally all I was trying to say. Literally said that.
Hey, look at we had a great session on Talk Big Podcast. You know what I'm talking about. We had a nice little smooth flow. I greatly appreciated and value the input that all of you women have given me today in regards to like how y'all feel about men and all the other different topics that we spoke on. And I just thank y'all for again for coming to Talk Big Podcast. You know what I'm talking about? I hope y'all enjoy y'all something. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Yeah.
It was nice talking to y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I am Dash.
Austin.
If y'all don't know this your boy Q5 Big Smoke right there in the motherfucking house like no living room. You dig?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
So we're gonna turn it on out and we're gonna turn it on off. Talk Big
Let me get some
Podcast.